Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Country Living. This week we're going to do part 2 of our beekeeping series, mainly focusing on hive splitting and on disease prevention slash finding out whether you have disease. So if you got bees and you want to know how to keep them healthy, this is an episode just for you. Stick around. So beekeeping is not something new to me, but videoing while beekeeping on the other hand is. And today we're going to see how it goes. It's afternoon, we did the harvesting in the morning, midday sort of thing. Once the honey's warmed up, you know, it's a bit more viscous, it flows out better. The bees are good and healthy and they're happy. They're doing their thing. As you saw, they go back in and clean it out, whatever. So I've actually left it a day, so it's the next afternoon now, and the bees are sort of settled down a little bit now. And we're going to do two things. We're going to open the bees up, and then we're going to do split a beehive. So I'm going to show you the stuff as we go doing it, so you see what we need. Actually, I'll show you the bee box first. So this here will be the new bee box, this one here. So I've already tried to split this one last year. However, I brought it back too soon. And you can see the bees have started building honeycomb on there. But they've come in and ransacked it and taken all the honey out of that there. So I don't think the hive actually died. I think they actually went back to the mother hive because I'd taken away for 2 months, but it wasn't long enough, and they've all gone back there and they're like, yeah, no, we're home again. We know where home is. So maybe we'll talk a minute about what we're going to do before we get into it. So the first thing we want to do is we want to check. I like to try and see the queen if I can. You can't always get a hold of her, but you have a look for it, and if I see one I'll show you, otherwise I'll just put one up on the screen so you can see it. Just make sure she's healthy and she's there and that sort of stuff. We'll probably be able to see all that without actually seeing the queen by the brood that we see in the box. The brood is the terminology used for where the baby bees are laid. So in a bee box, like this one here, for example, behind me, the top is the honey box, and the bottom is the nuke or the hive or the brood box. And nukes are typically referred to with just nucleus when you're splitting a hive, so we'll make a nuke. People usually use nuke hives for that, and they're just like a little one. They have 3 to 5 frames in them. So anyway, so we just want to make sure that's right, that they're laying in a good, consistent manner. You will see, you know, a good pattern, and we'll have a look at that anyway. And then what we'll do when we split the hives, we'll get 2 hives of honey out of the bottom of this nuke box, put 2 frames back in there, and we get two frames of brood. We'll try and get some really young broods, so that young babies, because what they'll do, and then we'll get a stack of bees with them, we'll put them in the box, lock the box up, and take them with us to our other property, and we'll leave them there probably all summer this time, so we don't get in trouble like we did this time, and we bring them back too soon, and then they go back to their mother hive. This property is a lot better than the property for bees because there's a massive amount of eucalyptus here, national forest behind us. So these, as we spoke about just before, can fill up a hive in 2 to 3 weeks. So that it's really good ground here. I think you've more or less got the idea. We'll jump into it and have a look into it. Safety equipment, this is really important. Like I said, we are not American beekeepers. I have no idea how they do it. If someone actually could show me the secret, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see an American beekeeper with my bees, because they might be like, yeah, I don't know. These bees will kill you. If you go in here naked, they will take you to town and you can seriously get in trouble. They are Italian bees. The queen is a bred queen, so they should be good quality. And they work really well. Like, they're good workers, and they don't come around stinging you if you don't go near them. But if you don't be properly suited up, you will be in trouble. So for that, boots, I've got gum boots because they can't sting through it. Gloves, full gloves, and then I've got my full size bee suit that goes from top to bottom. It's got double mesh on it, and it's all one piece. So yeah, let's check it on. Alright, we're all suited up now, ready to go. one thing you do need is a hive tool. We don't need it actually. A screwdriver and a knife will probably get you by for now. But I have this hive tool, my old faithful. Yeah, all suited up as you can see. One other thing, just so you know, the reason why we do beekeeping at this time of the day is they go dormant at night. Obviously, they sleep. So at this time of the day, we've got the biggest chance of having the bees a bit more tranquil. Now you might say, Curly, where's your puffer? I don't use a puffer. Why don't I use a puffer? I never had any success with them. I used to use a puffer years ago before I started the commercial operation. Started using it, I just didn't find any major difference. Like, the bees go crazy either way. Some people said you put marijuana in it, helps, yeah, but it probably maybe helped me too, and I'm not into that sort of stuff. So yeah, don't use a puffer. I just noticed I've got a little hole in my glove here, which is a recipe for disaster. Yeah, the show must go on though. I just got to be careful with that, probably get a couple of stings and just move on. So anyway, without any further ado, let's get into it. So on top of them flow hives, you can see we've got this grate here, and that stops the bees from coming out and stinging out the top, and allows for ventilation. So we'll take him off and sit him aside. Now actually, here's something. See these things here? I don't know if you can see them. They're hive beetles. So I haven't had a big problem with hive beetles, but I can see that they're coming back again. So I will have to attend to them. I'll show you a couple of secrets how to get rid of these hive beetles. Not right now, but in a minute. Yeah. So there's stacks of hive beetles here. This looks like it's become a real problem, so we're going to have to get that sorted. Like I said, we can get that sorted. And now what I'll do, instead of pulling all these frames out, these are the flow hive frames, I'm just going to take the whole top off and get him out of our way, because we don't really want to play with him right now. So the idea of the queen separator is it stops the queen, so the queen's bigger, from getting up to the top and laying eggs up in the top box. We'll just sit him aside and maybe clean him up when we get a chance later. So because we're splitting the box, I'm going to put my other box right beside it so we can go checking and splitting the box all at the same time. Okay, so this is the brood. Looks like she's a really beautiful queen. You can see how we've got to, I'm going to sit him down. We've got a really beautiful comb of solid brood. All this around here, these are all baby bees about to hatch. See, older ones, but you can see there's a really filled up, really solid looking sort of a lay there. So she's a really good queen. I already knew that because it's a really well performing hive. On this side here, she's got a bit ambitious and she's built brood on top of brood. Can you see it there? And that there is drone comb. We don't want drone comb. It's, well, they're useless drones. So we'll just flick that little bit of stuff out there and tidy it up a little bit, because you don't want unclean hives. You want them to be clean. They'll rebuild and recuperate really quickly. So you just flick that bit of stuff out. Bit out of here. And now this is a really good tray full of new workers to come. So because of that, I'm going to put them in the new hive. So as soon as these hatch, they won't know any better, and this will be their hive, and they will be loyal citizens for the new hive for their lifetime. So typically the inner ones we wear all the brood is, and then the outer ones will be where the honey is. So I can see that was the second one from the edge, and it's full of brood. So she's a really beautiful, strong queen, this one, and that's why there's so much brood in it. I'll grab the next one and see what we can find. Okay, so similar here. So what's happened last time I had this one, you can see on the outside not built out. So these are plastic frames. I use both plastic and wire things. I like the plastic frames because when it gets hot they don't melt and fall apart. And she's built out really well here to start with. And you can see in here actually, that's bee bread, that's pollen, and you see different colour pollen. So that's what they mainly eat for their sustenance is the pollen. Now on the outside here, she's got it made and done some more of that drone comb. So we'll just flick him off, and hopefully she'll make some more of this nice looking comb here next time. And similar on this side. So what I'm looking for now is some really baby bees, because the younger the bees are when they start feeding them royal jelly, the better quality queens they'll be. So I'm just cleaning out a bit of this old comb. So I don't want this one, I've already got one with brood. So I'll put this one back in there and we'll get one with some little baby. I just sit him aside here. I just realised they've built a whole separate panel between two other panels, and I'm going to have to just sit in there to get them out the way. Okay, this is very similar to the last one. I'm just having a quick peruse to see if we can see the queen. Her Majesty the Queen. Rest in peace old Lizzie. Kicked the bucket, parked up this week, so yeah, all the best to the family there. You can see underneath that drone comb, there's a couple of big drone bees here. You can see them big ones? Them big ones there are the drones, so they're male bees. Yeah, they're pretty well useless. They're just, yeah, they sort of a bit of protection, but they don't really even do that. I don't really know what they do. I mean, they're meant to mate with the queen and stuff like that, but there's a lot of them to mate with the queen, and she doesn't need that much mating going on. This is that whole extra panel that they started building between. And it's all drone comb, so we don't want him. I'll just put him aside here, and the bees will fly off it and fly back into the hive eventually. Now I'll stick this panel back in here. Look at this, this is the outer one I was telling you, and you see the whole thing's full of bee bread. See all that pollen? All the different colours from different flowers. Isn't it beautiful, isn't it? So I'll leave him there with it. Look at it all there, honey and bee bread. Actually, I might take it because it'd be good food for the other bees at this time of the year. A quick little glimpse of the queen. No, nothing much going on there, so I'll put him across. Plenty of, oh look at this, you can actually see here. See these ones here? They're actually bees just being born, 1, 2, 3. So, yeah, you can see, sort of see that there. And then the little grubs down further, they're the ones that haven't been capped yet to do their metamorphosis. So every frame I take out, I'll put a new one back in of the frame. I always put one new frame, one old frame, one new frame, one old frame, or at least have them separated, you know. And I always make sure I don't put the new frame on the outermost side, because if you leave it on the outermost side, what will happen is it'll take a lot longer for them to build, whereas they're much more encouraged if it's closer to the centre. Aha, we've hit the jackpot. Alright, so on this panel here, I'll just have a look at the queen quickly. Yeah, I can't see any queen, but on this panel here,
there's a lot of young larvae, really young larvae. And so the longer they feed them royal jelly, the better queen they'll be. So what I'll do actually here is I'll just remove this bit here while I'm at it. And I'll put this panel in the new hive because it's got a lot of new young bees here ready to go to be possible queens. So that'll be our second panel. I actually already tried to build a queen cell here, that big round one. That's a queen cell that either did or didn't work properly, but it's only a little one, so it would have been a not very good queen anyway. But all I'm doing now is going through the hive, and you know, these ones that are a bit mad like this, just flicking them off so they can try and rebuild again. Being careful, looking for the queen if we can. This side here is not being built very well, they're built on top of each other. So just pull the bad bits off and they'll have another go, and the chances are better that they'll strike it properly the second time, if not the third time. So let's pull these bits off here. Okay, so that's done. I'll put him back together now. And I'll just grab a couple of bees like off here and just shake them into the new box. And that'll help get a couple extra bees there for the population. When I start replacing stuff, I roll it on to try and roll any bees out so I don't squash too many. So I'll roll here. Starting from the edge. Look, it's inevitable you squash a couple of bees, but you just do your best you can to not. And then we put our flow hive back on top last. Alright guys, we got bad news. I want to take you over here. This hive was split about the same time as that hive. This hive here has AFB. So there's a couple of, that's African foulbrood. So there's a couple of things you want to look for. Firstly, when I took the lid off, it had a bit of a smell of dead. Dead's not good. If you smell dead, you know, you want to be suspicious. Secondly, they were all real cranky. But the thing you really do that will definitely tell you what it is, get a bit of grass, like a bit of a stick or whatever. And you see them cells aren't nice and round and plump like that one. They're all a little bit wrinkly. So you stick in the cell and stir it around, and if it comes out stringy like see how it sticks, that means it's got AFB. So yeah, it's a disease, and basically we're going to have to kill this whole hive. So I'm not going to take this lid off here and put it over there because I don't want to get them contaminated. I'm going to put this back on, I'm going to shut them up, and we're probably going to have to burn this whole hive because otherwise it can contaminate the rest, and then we have problems on through and through. So yeah, this is one of the sad things of beekeeping. And you need to be really careful with these AFB and disease and stuff. Like hive beetle's not good, but it's definitely not as bad as AFB. So yeah, we're going to lock him up and get rid of him, unfortunately. Yeah. Anyway, I'll lock him up now and so this is a bad one. I've got him tied up so they don't fly away too much. That's the good one. I'll put the sides up. We'll put that fella there on the new one, and we'll close him up here with a bit of timber when I get home. And yeah, probably burn the whole lot. You can if you just kill the bees out, clean your frames out. You can also get them irradiated. So I may do that with the hive.
but for now I just want to get him home and get him cleaned up so I can get rid of the bees at least first. Okay, so we're here at our final destination. Let's unload these bees. And that's it, we're done. We're about 8 kilometers from where they were, from between our 2 properties. So yeah, there's not much more mystery to how that works. You just need to make sure they stay separated long enough. I'll probably leave these here all summer, and then probably spring next year, these will be pumping. There'll be a nice big frame. I'll have to add some more frames in there when we get into it. And yeah, when they get them frames filled out and they get pumping, probably next year we'll take them over there, chuck a super on top, and we'll be making honey. If we get a good year this year, maybe 3 or 4 months, and they're forecasting a good year, but if we do get that good year, yeah, like I said, 3 or 4 months, and we'll be over there and chucking a super on top. We'll just have to see how it all goes. And there you have it, the sad ending to a beehive. What do you do? After that sad ending, I thought I'd better do the conclusion here. Something a bit prettier, and that's these clover flowers. The bees just buzzing around here, getting their honey, doing their thing. But yeah, you see there the stark reality of beekeeping. I mean, at the end of the day, it's what sin has brought into this world. So yeah, I suppose you just got to deal with it sometimes and make it happen. But I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope there's been some valuable lessons you can keep for yourself. I know there's a lot of beekeepers out there, maybe smaller beekeepers, backyard beekeepers, and AFB is one of them things that if you don't know, you don't know, you know. Whereas the beetles are easier to see, the AFB isn't. So yeah, I hope this can help you guys with your hives, if you've got hives, or before you get into hives, if you're, just so you know, keep them healthy and clean, and you should be happy beekeeping. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel if you've liked it. Send it to a friend if you think that they might be interested in it. And yeah, thanks again for watching and for sticking around this far. Have a good one, guys.